Our evening session is starting now. It's gonna last just about 1.5 hours. And as I already told, we are on record now, and I hope we're on a live stream now. So if you don't want to be on a live stream or record, you can turn off your camera, but we need this translation and we need this session to see how our colleagues can do in a different time zone. And our format will be, we will have 3 wonderful people who are going to talk, the speakers today. And after that, we will have a discussion. We'll start with our speakers, and the theme of our session today is intergenerational development of the community through the music, and the role of the music in the development of inclusive community. All the people who are here today are people who are deeply involved in this process. They create own projects. They try to do their best to make this development as effective, as resilient, as inclusive as it is possible. And our first speakers today will be from USA, from Los Angeles, right? Yes. Tony Brown and Trent Stump. Let's welcome them. And if you don't mind, we will start with your video, and then we will go on with your speech. Okay, so let's see.
That's fine.
Okay.
Well, Heart of LA is an amazing community center, and we're providing rigorous fundamentals in language arts, math, access to music for kids who otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity. All of it free for families so that no longer is poverty the obstacle to realizing their dreams. We're trying our very best to make a difference, not just in the life of one child, but in the life of an entire community. Hi, my name is Tony Brown, and I'm the executive director of Heart of Los Angeles and the founder of the Ola Intergenerational Orchestra. The Eisner Foundation has really been a leader of providing intergenerational support for programs and activities throughout our city. When I had the opportunity to speak with the foundation about a dream that I had to create more intergenerational programming here in this neighborhood, they said, absolutely, why don't we take you to a place to where you can see some really good intergenerational programming happening.
So we were looking to bring together people of different ages, different ethnicities, musicians of all skill levels, and unite this community around an intergenerational orchestra that would reflect the diversity of this community, that would feel more like the heart of Los Angeles. We had seen one in New Jersey. Tony and I went there, and they did great work, but to do it here in Los Angeles, it was gonna take innovation, it was gonna take leadership, it was gonna take courage, and it was gonna take somebody who was willing to try to unite their community. And Tony has been doing that for a long time.
It was the perfect place at the perfect time. I had really taken on the inspiration of Maestro Dudamel, whose 2 tenets of life are music is a fundamental right, and music will bring a community together.
Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited about today. Okay, so what I thought we could do is welcome introductions.
My name is Daniel Suk, and I'm a musician, artistic director, and also conductor. This orchestra is very special in its way because of its flexibility. This is for multicultural and intergeneration. This is for all.
It was just a matter of that last and final step, reaching out to the communities and pockets around the city. When this intergenerational orchestra gets its first chance to come alive, my guess is that there's going to be a whole new array of individuals across our city who will need this intergenerational orchestra more than ever.
Hi. Good to see you guys.
We're so excited to welcome everyone. Now we're revving the engines right back up to get all of the former instrumentalists and current instrumentalists together in one room, one culture united to play and build back even stronger.
I just want to give congratulations to every single one of you to coming out here, and finally, we are going to play some music tonight. Yes.
My name's Louis Fantasia, and I'm a director and a writer and an amateur double bass player. I like the idea of this intergenerational concept, you know, as a unifying principle. Keeps a geezer like me on my toes if I'm playing next to some 15-year-old, doesn't it? Yeah, I better have my Wheaties in the morning, you know?
My name is Jezebel Cruz. Music is important to me because the sounds just are beautiful to me. Everyone coming together to make one beautiful thing, that's pretty cool.
Unless you're in some extended family now, you don't get an opportunity to exchange intergenerationally. Secret to playing in an orchestra?
Yes, I mean, listen.
When you make a mistake, look at the other guy.
I hope to gain more knowledge from the older people. I'm very happy that I picked up my instrument again and that this orchestra can give me that opportunity.
So many of the arts programs have been cut in public schools. They don't have an orchestra outlet to play in. It gives them the opportunity to play in an orchestra, which is a valuable experience for them, being part of a team.
Do I still learn? Every day. Every day. Otherwise, you're dead. You know, we were all a little nervous at the beginning, first couple of meetings, but it's been great.
The first day I came, I was the only viola. I didn't really feel comfortable playing until the other viola players came. I've played in front of an audience before, but I mean, I pretty much have goosebumps about it.
She seems much more confident than she did the first week. It's great that she stuck it out.
There's a unique power in music that can bring people together. They don't have to speak the same language. They don't have to be the same age. They only have to come together to share their gifts through music and to learn and to grow.
The orchestra stands as a reflection and as an example of the diversity of the city that comes together as a voice. And the most important thing that you learn is that you listen to one another and you blend and you harmonize and you make something better as a group than you would individually.
There are concerts that play perfectly, but you don't feel anything. But there are some concerts will hit you, and it'll make emotion, your emotional rise. There's something, what they're saying and what they're playing. And I think this orchestra will do that. I dream of building an orchestra with the soul that will communicate to our community.
Oh my gosh, we're here. Listen, I could hardly sleep last night, I'll be honest with you, because it's been 2 years that we've been praying and planning and envisioning this day, and now that it's finally here, I just have goosebumps.
Thank you for being a part of this afternoon's inaugural holiday concert, and thank you for being a part of the Heart of Los Angeles intergenerational family. Please enjoy our show.
I think it was wonderful and it was very inspirational. So we can start the session with this inspiration that we saw from this video. So I give my word, I pass my word to Tony Brown and to Trent Stamp from Los Angeles, founders, as I understand, of Ola Orchestra, right? So guys, yeah, please.
Great. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us, whatever time zone you're in today, whatever language you speak. We'll do our best to make this as accessible for everyone as possible. My name is Trent Stamp. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Eisner Foundation, and today I am pleased to be here with Tony Brown, who is the CEO of the Heart of Los Angeles and the founder of the Ola Eisner Intergenerational Orchestra. And as you saw from the film, he's also a member of that orchestra. Today, we're going to talk about how the orchestra began and its impact on the surrounding community. We'll also leave plenty of time for questions, so please feel free to put your questions in the chat or the Q&A as we move along. But first, I just want to share a few things about the Eisner Foundation and why we wanted to support an intergenerational orchestra. The Eisner Foundation, located in Los Angeles, California, is the only United States-based foundation exclusively supporting intergenerational programs. We made this our mission in 2015 when we saw that the best programs we supported didn't just serve youth or older adults, but leveraged the strengths of each so that they served each other. Today, we fund organizations in Los Angeles and New York City that are bringing the old and the young together in all kinds of creative ways, including mentorship, tutoring programs, intergenerational shared sites where the old and the young can spend time together, places like where there's a kindergarten inside a senior center, and friendly calling and visiting programs for the lonely. That's what we do, and we were the founding funder of this orchestra. But Tony is the one who actually put the orchestra together. Tony, would you like to quickly tell us a little bit more about Heart of Los Angeles?
Well, sure. Hello, everyone. It's so great to be here. At Heart of Los Angeles, we believe that our city in LA certainly can be a place where every kid can have the opportunity to succeed, through their education. And yet, there's lots of barriers that we at Heart of LA have to remove to try to make that reality come to life. And we feel like for so many of the kids, believe it or not, in Los Angeles, are still affected by poverty and under-resourced schools and technology gaps. So Heart of LA personalizes our services for those low-income youth after school and also during the summer. So when we had this opportunity to partner and create intergenerational programming at Heart of LA, it was a no-brainer because we knew that that was the missing piece beyond all that we already did that helps our young people make sense of the world around them, and it really allows them to flourish, is having that supportive network from caring adults of all generations. And we're starting to see through the process that it's a win-win for everyone.
Terrific. So as you saw in the movie, a couple of years ago, feels like a million years ago because it was right before COVID, but just a couple of years ago, I began talking with Tony at Heart of LA about starting an intergenerational orchestra in Los Angeles. I had seen one in New Jersey on the other side of the country, and we thought it would be a perfect concept to adapt to the Los Angeles community. But we also knew that Heart of Los Angeles would be the perfect organization to make that happen, since they already had a strong reputation for their youth music programs, and they already had a commitment to building very diverse programs that represented the city beautifully. So as you saw in the film, we obviously had some hiccups, primarily due to COVID. We started like crazy and then had to shut down, but now we're up and running and things are going great. Tony, this video ends with your first concert, at which I was there, and it was wonderful and triumphant at the end of 2021. But a lot has happened since last December, since that first concert. Can you Can you tell us how the rest of your first season went? And how is this new second season that you just started shaping up?
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, as the community members, learned about, I think, the quality of the orchestra from that first concert, from those who attended the concert to them sharing with friends and family and neighbors, our second half of the first season really ramped up. In fact, we added 5 additional concerts to our first season compared with the one, right, the inaugural first half. So for the youth who attended that concert, word of mouth spread very quickly from the concert. In fact, young people were coming up to me and others after the performance asking, how can we be a part of this? So we've grown from our initial signups of sort of 40 folks, just a little bit above 40 folks joining that very first day, to now having over 150 orchestra members. And what's really nice is that the members we have now, in so many ways, mimic the overall composition, diverse makeup of our founding members. So, we have many members who come from our local indigenous communities throughout LA. Many immigrant, families are participating. And we have, those good folks playing alongside members from other parts of our city, perhaps that have far greater resource many miles away. And then we, of course, have, young people, ranging from age 10 all the way into their now 80s. So it's been really a wonderful explosion of growth in the directions in which we thought it could and hoped it would.
I have a question to you. I'm sorry, Trent, to interrupt you. How you gathered them? Like you just gave an announcement, or how it happened?
That's a great question. There was a lot of intention.
Talk about how you recruited people, where they came from, and how you brought them together.
Sure. Yeah. There was a lot of intentionality around that. We, LA is geographically spread out, but at the same time, there are these really, really interesting, rich communities side by side from one another. They're just in little bubbles, right? And so we started to go in and poke holes in those bubbles. We were advertising in, they're local papers, but they're at the same time sort of underground networks that can be found through Facebook groups or literally going to festivals, that happen, on a 4 or 5 square block radius, and getting in there and getting to know who are the elders in each of these different pockets around Los Angeles, who's leading what, right? And who's bringing people together already. And we wanted to make sure that we hit as many of those different pockets, as possible. We didn't want everything to be one pocket and only one pocket, right? So there was just a lot of intentionality around that. As far as the young people we get to serve, we serve 3,000 young people in an area that's sort of 5 minutes west of downtown LA. In fact, it's one of the most densely populated areas in the West Coast. And so, of the United States.
And how long did it take you? How long? How long did you do this?
So it didn't take very long. I would say it took about 6 months to really spread throughout our networks. And I think the reason why it didn't take so long is because of that density I spoke about. And you just sort of, you speak to the right elders. And when I say elders, I don't necessarily mean elderly people. I also mean even young people, right, who are just among their groups, looked up to. And so it didn't take too long. I'm grateful. We've had a nice reputation. We've been around for 33 years, Heart of LA. So I think some of that was also helpful in this.
Yeah, it matters, of course.
I think one of the interesting things about the older adults that have joined this orchestra is that, when you're an older musician, unless you're really, really good, you don't often get an opportunity to perform with an orchestra. You can play with, 1 or 2 other people informally or that type of thing. But the only opportunities for older musicians to come together like this are if you're a professional. There just aren't amateur orchestras for older adults. And so that was a really compelling part of this for some of the older musicians, was that they got an opportunity to play in an orchestra, to make big music, big sound in big venues, which they hadn't done in literally decades. We have orchestras for young people who are learning how to play, who are not pros, who are amateurs, who are not of a certain skill level. But we don't really have an opportunity for older musicians to come together if you're not exceptional. So I think for some people that was compelling to them, to get an opportunity to play in an orchestra again, and to have the opportunity to mentor and tutor and learn from the younger members of the orchestra. So it takes a special person who is interested in this type of situation. So Tony, can you talk a little bit about that? As we saw in the video, the members of the orchestra are coming together. They're building relationships. They're older, they're younger, they're male, they're female, they're from different ethnic groups. And I think there's a benefit that you believe that happens to the community also. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because you're not building a world-class orchestra. You're building a pretty darn good orchestra, but I think you're trying to do something else in your community.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I think we are trying to break down these barriers and these boxes and these silos and bring people together. Of them, a favorite amongst the members, elderly down to youth, was that we opened a park, and it was this little park that was to be dedicated to the seniors in that area. And as I mentioned, it's very densely populated. So what you find in this area are a lot of seniors trapped in a lot of ways in these, apartments, or like we like to refer to them as boxes, alone. I mean, they're alone. And so building a park was something that, you build right there where they live with the hope that they will come out of their box and go take advantage of that. But even that's hard when people are isolated in that way. So we decided we're going to bring this beautiful orchestra, this intergenerational orchestra, and we're going to fit us all into this tiny little park. And we are just going to start to play. We're going to play beautiful music outside of their windows. And for many of the seniors who were living in that building, they started to open up their window and poke their heads out. And by the end of this concert, and we had food and everything else too, but by the end of this concert, they had made their way downstairs and probably taken, some of their first steps into not only this new park, but they had felt like, I think, very much valued and as a valuable part of community to be able to share. And they were so grateful to the musicians. They were so excited to be up close to these instruments in some ways again. And for the members, it was probably, even though we played in some amazing places season one, it was probably one of the most impactful concerts that we did, because it was this idea that, all generations want to feel connected. They all want to build community. They don't want to feel forgotten, but rather cared for. And I think through this concert and through this intergenerational orchestra, we're providing that. We're providing an opportunity for people, like Trent said, who may have played an instrument 30 years ago, and then there was no other opportunity for them to play again, and not only to play again, but to play again with a young person who's taking up their instrument, right, for the first few years of their journey. And it just warms your heart. The rehearsals warm your heart. The performances warm your heart. The being together is what it's all about. And I think it's a demonstration that in spite of our differences, through music, we can come together. And there's a lot of hope in that.
That's terrific. Let me ask one more question, and then I want to make sure we leave enough time for our other speaker, and then we can answer questions at the end if anybody has them. Tony, you've been doing this for a long time, and I don't mean intergenerational orchestras, but you've been doing community development for a long time, and primarily serving Black and brown kids in Los Angeles who aren't
over-resourced in any way whatsoever. What's unique about an intergenerational approach as it relates to serving those kids and your community? What do you get out of working intergenerationally to serve those kids?
Well, I can certainly speak to the United States that throughout many of our multi-generational, workplaces, right, and in our homes, there's definitely been an increasing division across generations. Millennials, Gen Z versus baby boomers, for example.
Sure.
But anytime there's division, the various sides need to find their way to common ground, right? So the Heart of LA and Eisner Intergenerational Music Program has been doing that. It's been bringing these generations together through music making. And it's been a clear, as I mentioned before, demonstration to members and to the community that we can totally unite towards a common purpose. And if I'm being honest, all sides have a lot that's learned from one another. All generations have a lot that's learned from one another. Asking, my peer in the orchestra who's 40 years younger, the clarinet fingering, right? Because the last time I played was 30 years ago, or a younger person feeling relieved that it's okay to make a mistake, as long as you're willing to learn from it, from one of their elders. All of these interactions, I feel like, really do build that trust with one another and help to form, maybe reform those needed connections that silos and, polarizations amongst generations absolutely do not. I'll tell you, one of the really neat things I've enjoyed is seeing many of our younger members. They've been having their music recitals, maybe for their schools. And it's been great to see the elder members of our orchestras and music programs attending their recitals and developing their, these relationships and cheering them on. And I think the best feedback that I get is when kids can, or that I see, are when kids demonstrate that they now have this improved confidence and feeling very powerful by being able to play alongside,
right,
elders. And it's really great. It's that we're building these young people up by just feeling like they're heroes of their own journeys. And we're just giving them the help that, come on, we've all needed along the way. So I think that's what's made this a very unique and special way to build community is through intergenerational programming for this reason.
Terrific. Terrific. Thank you so much. Anna, I'll stop there.
Thank you.
And we will go on to our next speaker, but Tony and I will stick around if there are additional questions at the end.
Of course. Trent, Tony, I have a few questions and take this right to me to ask you. And then we'll go to Yelena, of course. The first thing is I've been in LA many times. I used to live there for 2 years, and I know that about 60 nationalities live in LA. Like for now, we have about 60 countries who are represented on this world conference. And only in one state are 60 nationalities living together. And I know there are a lot of challenges that the state faces with this. I was just curious, how many nationality representatives do you have in your orchestra? Do you have such database? Do you know it? I'm pretty sure you're so deep passionate in this job. I see it. So I think you know everybody by name and all their family members. I'm pretty sure of that and their lives. But I'm just interested, how many nationalities do you have in your orchestra?
Honestly, I don't have that yet, but I can take
information.
But I can take a strong guess that we probably have at least 25 to 30 in our orchestra. And also, we have a very special announcement. The success of the intergenerational orchestra was so huge that there was a huge calling by the folks who love to sing, by the folks who love to express music through big band, that we have added the Eisner Heart of Los Angeles intergenerational big bands and choirs. So we've added some more communities, I'm sure, through those programs as well.
Okay. I'm Armenian, from Armenia, so I hope you have Armenian musicians.
We do have Armenian. Yes, we are well represented there.
Yeah.
When you see the orchestra really looks like Los Angeles, which was one of the amazing things that we wanted to do, because Los Angeles is not like many other places in the world.
It's a country. It's a country.
It is so diverse. But one of the things that's compelling about that for me is that for other funders in other communities, if you want to build your own intergenerational orchestra in any way whatsoever, you know, if we can build it in Los Angeles with that many different types of folks, and that many big barriers, you know, our education system struggles, our geography is varied, and people are a long ways from each other. And we did this in the middle of COVID, in the middle of the worst pandemic in any of our lives. If it can happen in Los Angeles under those circumstances with these people, it can happen anywhere. So we don't want anybody to go away thinking, well, that only happens in Southern California. It can happen anywhere.
It is the only one in USA now?
We don't know that. No, there was one in New Jersey that we saw, and there may be some other ones, but it's certainly not common.
Yeah, okay. And how old is the youngest participant, and how old is the oldest one?
Well, you know, we're supposed to not ask people's ages. However, we happen to know.
So how do you think? How do you think?
We know we've had an 8-year-old, as young as an 8-year-old in our intergenerational orchestra, and we know we have 82 years plus elders.
That's
also,
cool.
And everyone in between.
Thank you for answering the questions. After
Yelena's.
Oля, I'm sorry, just give me 1 second. After Yelena's speech, all the questions you have to Tony and Trent will be like read from the chat, and you can ask these questions and present yourself, because we are also very, very amazed to see everybody here and hope to know your names and your activity and which country do you represent. And we will come to this, sure of that. I'll just give now Yelena time to speak. I will translate her. It will take a little longer time. That's why I'm in a little hurry. And after that, any question, any discussion, and I hope it will last as much as we can. Okay? Sorry, Oya, for that. You will be here, okay? Please keep in touch. Okay, Yelena. So are you ready, darling?
Да, я готова, Анна.
Yeah, she is. Okay.
Да, я рада приветствовать всех участников конференции, и я очень рада рассказать вам о своем хоровом коллективе инклюзивный хор «Радость души». Это коллектив единственный в Республике Беларусь.
So Yelena Maslova is from Belarus, and she is the director of the wonderful tour, which is inclusive tour in Belarus, and she will talk a little about this.
Я начинала работать сразу после университета в специальной музыкальной школе. У нас в Беларуси развита система специальных закрытых учебных заведений для детей с особенностями развития. И свой творческий путь я начинала именно в такой школе, где у меня в хоре пело 20 человек. Это все были дети-инвалиды, незрячие и с нарушением зрения.
So Yelena started work after the university. She graduated and she started to work in a special organization, like a special school for children with special needs. As you know, in Soviet period, it was very common to have these special institutions where children with special needs were learning separately. There were no inclusion in the education system, and in Belarus, like this tradition was going on. And Lena, like, graduated from the university. She started to work as a music teacher in this kind of special institution, and she was very young, and 21, right? 22. and there were 20 children with the hearing impairments she started to work with. Лена,
да. С детьми вот в этой музыкальной школе я проработала почти 10 лет, и мы вели активную концертную деятельность, и я замечала, что мы не находим общий язык с публикой, потому что мы старались показать свое творчество. Я как руководитель хора старалась показать, чему мы научились, как дети поют, но в ответ я очень часто видела такую реакцию, как жалость людей, слезы. То есть наше общество, наша публика была не готова принимать творчество детей-инвалидов.
Elena was working there. She used to work there for 10 years. She's very active personality, so they gave a lot of concerts. Children gave a lot of concerts during this period. But she noticed a real problem, a real barrier, that people are not ready to perceive art from the children with special needs, because they don't perceive the art they give. They start to cry, they start to feel sympathy, but they are not just coming to hear the music, to support these people in their art activity. They're just having these negative emotions, feelings. And this thing made Anna to figure out what to do next, how to change this situation. Okay.
Да, и когда у меня появилась возможность в связи со сменой своей работы объявить дополнительный набор в свой хоровой коллектив детей и взрослых без особых потребностей, без ограничения возможных по здоровью, да, возможностей. И я делала это с очень большим опасением. Я не знала, как у меня дети будут воспринимать друг друга, как они будут общаться, как воспримут родители участие детей с особенностями и детей без ограничений по здоровью в одном коллективе. Но
какой это был год, Лен?
Я начинала работать с детками, которые вот только с детьми-инвалидами с 2003 года по 2015, а с 2015 года и по сегодняшний день, да, это вот мы работаем уже вот в инклюзивном коллективе.
So after that, Lena, she had an idea. She had an idea to create a choir, which name is Joy of Soul, Joy of the Soul. This is the name of her choir. So she decided to make an announcement for people, for young people and children who have no any special need, and to make own a beautiful group which is inclusive. It was a risk for her, of course, and challenge. It was in 2015. To tell the truth, in post-Soviet area, these years are not the best for inclusive stuff. It was just starting, you know, like 2001, 2002 were the first years when inclusive education, like law, came into the territory of post-Soviet countries. So it was not very easy. And she was like, it was a risk because she didn't know how parents will react, how children will impact, how it will go on. But anyway, she took this risk. She took it, okay?
Но к моей радости к нам в коллектив пришло много новых певцов. И на сегодняшний день из 20 человек наш коллектив вырос до 50 человек, и он стал инклюзивным в полной мере, потому что в нем половина участников – это люди с особыми потребностями, половина участники без таковых, но у нас еще инклюзия в том, что это дети и молодежь, и взрослые, то есть люди разного возраста, от 4 и до 50 лет. То есть к нам пришли петь еще и родители, и бабушки, и дедушки, и это тоже такая вот своеобразная инклюзия, чему я очень рада.
So for now, from 20, they became 50, And now they are both inclusive and both intergenerational, because parents of children came and grandparents came, and now the youngest singer is 4 years old and the oldest one is 50, and so they are singing together and they are happy together to do this, and they are very popular. To tell the truth, they are very popular, and they are touring very much through many countries, and proud. She's saying she's proud of that.
И когда я получила такой большой коллектив, я поняла, что главное — это не научить их только петь, а главное — это научить их общаться и взаимодействовать между собой. И хор и хоровые занятия как нельзя лучше этому способствуют, потому что вся структура занятия, вся она нацелена на вот понятие друг друга. И вообще хор — это единение людей, это единение через песню, через душу поющих.
And what is important for Elena, she's saying that it's not only about singing, as you told Tony, right? It's not only about playing in this orchestra, it's about interconnecting with each other. It's about being connected with each other. And it's about experience exchange with each other. So because singing, and I think all kind of music, not only singing, like Lena is talking about singing, it is the place that souls of people can be connected. People can understand each other. It doesn't matter how old are they, what group they represent, are they with special needs or without special needs. This is the place, music is the place that can make this connection. This is the space to make this connection.
Наши занятия начинаются, как в любом хоре, с распевания, с вокальной подготовки, и уже на этом этапе мы учимся взаимодействовать. И я понимаю, что на этом этапе вот этот вот закрытый мир незрячего человека, он соединяется с миром зрячего, и они дополняют друг друга. Наше распевание строится таким образом. Мы поем: мы нужны друг другу, я люблю тебя, я в хорошем настроении. И так начинается наше занятие, так мы распеваемся. Анна.
Very sorry, my dog decided to agree with Yelena. He was just barking. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, she was talking about how this works going on, like how it starts, because when people come, they can be emotionally depressed, or there can be some barriers. They don't give them opportunity to start to sing, to feel each other, get connected. She was talking about how they start to sing about their mood, start to sing like, I feel good today, or Lena, I'm singing, right?
Да, я люблю тебя, мы нужны друг другу.
I love you, right? Yeah. So, and this is the beginning of their lesson. This is the beginning of their training. Start to share emotions with each other, give these positive emotions to each other, then to, like, it is the beginning, it is the process of the work.
Когда мы работаем над репертуаром, изучаем новое произведение, когда в ходе обсуждения характер, образы, дети понимают и взрослые, насколько каждый участник по-разному воспринимает этот мир. И что для нас самые простые, для зрячих людей, такие явления, вот как солнце, как заря, как восход, как закат, как по-другому воспринимают совершенно незрячие люди. И это открытие для многих, потому что, кажется, такие естественные вещи по-другому воспринимаются другим человеком.
There is a very special thing that is happening there, because people who don't see, they perceive everything in their own unique way. And for example, they're searching for songs, what to sing next, like for the program. People who don't have this special problem, they have very another kind of perception of nature, of sun, of rain, of any like images they see in this music. People who don't see, they have very different perception. And this exchange of perceptions make insights for both of the sides. Like people find out something new for them that they even couldn't imagine in their life. And that's why like this kind of group singing, inclusive and intergenerational, brings everyday insights for the people.
Я стараюсь на своих занятиях организовать образовательный процесс для незрячих и для зрячих участников хора. Конечно, не все видят мое дирижирование, и тогда я стараюсь отстукивать ритм ногой или тактильно по плечу невидящего меня человека. Большое значение имеет концертмейстер у нас в хоре, потому что многие незрячие ориентируются на музыку, не на мой жест. Также у нас все хористы поют по нотам, а незрячие хористы у нас поют по нотной системе Луи Брайля. То есть мы стараемся организовать равный процесс, чтобы все участники хора в одинаковой степени обучались.
The process of education and training is very different in special details, like people who don't see, they don't read notes, but for example, she used gestures with them, touches them, and makes them understanding the rhythm and sound with body interconnection. And it doesn't happen very often like with the people who doesn't have any seeing impairments. But anyway, Lena says that it's very important to find the ways to give this possibility to each person, to find this path, how to give this to them. And for that, you should be a professional, because you should search and you should find how to do this. Леночка, еще можно немного поговорить о том, как это действует именно на сообщество, да, вот ты же как раз говорила об этом моменте общения. Как вообще меняется жизнь этих людей, как реагируют теперь люди на хор, да, вот эти моменты?
Да, я хотела как раз сказать, что вообще хоровая жизнь – это неотъемлемая часть, это концерты, гастрольная деятельность. И вот в этих моментах, в моменте выступления, выхода на сцену, поездки куда-то, дети учатся общаться между собой, и взрослые. И что меня радует, между ними выстраиваются дружеские связи не только на занятиях, но и в повседневной жизни. Они приглашают друг друга на дни рождения, они ходят в кафе, они общаются и знакомят своих друзей. И вот это меня очень радует.
And what comes to the community, what inspires Yelena, that a chance for children to have tours in different countries, to push the borders, to travel, to see different people, to give concerts and to be sure in themselves, to feel confident, and for people who come to their concerts to understand how it works and that it is okay, it is normal. And this community life is very, very different for them. It is very active. They make friendship. They make generational friendship, intergenerational friendship. They invite each other to the birthdays. They go somewhere out together, like dining or evenings. And this interconnection makes their life very different. And this is the thing that Lena says, singing brings to another kind of living. Спасибо, Лен. Еще?
Да-да-да, я хотела еще сказать, что большое значение родители, семья имеет для развития вот, деятельности нашего хора, потому что семья непосредственно включается в нашу работу, родители по-другому смотрят на своих детей, они никогда их не видели вот вне этого коллектива как успешных, как детей, которые чего-то могут достичь и быть яркими, красивыми на сцене. И они, когда их видят на выступлениях, они приходят и говорят спасибо, и они начинают верить в своих детей. Вот, это тоже важный момент.
And there is a real mind changing in the parents' heads because they come. They see that their children are successful, they are capable, they have abilities that they didn't notice before that, because very often parents see only the problem of their child and they see only frames, the boxes that their child is in. But when they come and see how they work, how they sing, how they interconnect, there is some kind of revolution in their minds. They see from the other focus that their children are absolutely talented and capable. And this is very important thing because if you change something inside the community, inside the family, it should be the first step. It should be the first step to change it in the family. Elena.
Да, наш хор старается активно выступать на разных площадках еще с той целью, чтобы наши дети были примером, и они являются примером для других, примером стойкости духа, того, что они ощущают эту жизнь прекрасной, да, что они могут себя реализовать, тем самым показывая пример, что и другие люди, несмотря на свои ограничения, могут себя реализовать и творчески в том числе. Вот это еще хотела сказать.
And of course, these children inspire another people. By their concerts, by their activity, they inspire, they show that we are equal, show that we are different, but when we can do anything, that human being doesn't have any barriers. They inspire other people to do the same, to know that they can also do this. They become examples, and it is very important to have these alive examples in your time, in your life, so you can come and touch them and talk with them and ask them, how do they do this, how they succeed. Because it makes you go on, and it gives you a power to be like they are.
Наш хор является лауреатом и дипломантом различных международных, республиканских и городских конкурсов. То есть мы стараемся держать такой профессиональный уровень, и к моей радости, очень многие выпускники хора продолжают свое профессиональное обучение в средних и высших учебных заведениях и возвращаются к нам в коллектив уже в качестве педагогов.
And Yelena is very happy that many people who are from her chor, they go to the conservatories, to the musical colleges, they become professional musicians, and they come back and teach the next generation and to the people who are already now in the staff. And this is very important because like it makes some kind of school and tradition. Спасибо, Лена.
Да, я хочу закончить тем, что хор – это такое место, это где каждый человек может почувствовать себя успешным, даже если он боится выступать на сцене один, то с ним всегда рядом друг, который его поддержит, который ему поможет, и он никогда не будет один, он будет с хором.
And at the end, Lena just wanted to say that chor and orchestra are the places when people cannot be afraid of staying on the stage and performing themselves because they are not alone, because they have a team and they have this team and somebody else will support them. We are supporting each other on the stage, and that makes them to overcome many challenges and differences they couldn't do by themselves, by alone, but they can do it together. Lena, thank you very much. Thank you.
Спасибо.
I'm very pretty sure that the links of guys singing, of your tour singing, will be in our chat. And everybody can watch it after our session. And besides that, we have a Discord platform. Do you know what is Discord? Does everybody know it? Yeah. So we have a Discord digital platform. In this platform, all the chats will not disappear anywhere, and all the links will be there. And am I right that experience exchange of the World Conference will also is being held on this Discord digital platform? Am I right, Olya?
Yes, I will give the link right now. I will send it in our chat. This is one.
So you can see anything there, any links, you can connect to each other, you can speak as much as you need, you can make new collaborations there.
Yes, and we're waiting you for a practice exchange after conference, after day of conference, 6 and 7 October. We will wait on you in Discord.
So I have a questions in the chat also. I think these questions
Anna,
can be answered.
Can we show one video? Yelena's girls singing. Yes, one video.
Of course.
One little video.
Yes, of course. Come on.
Какой лазурный небосвод над древним городом плывет, Тбилиси мой любимый, о многом помнят шапки гор и белоснежные гор. Мне кажется, твоею под солнцем Грузия моя, любимая земля. Всюду я пою о родине красе, поют со мною все. Идем по городу с тобой, вечерней лунною порой. Шумит Тбилиси и в огнях горит. Огни сияют впереди, и песня льется из груди, и над Курой прохладою летит. Расцветай под солнцем Грузия моя, милый край, любимая. Всюду я пою о родине красе, и друзья поют со мною все. Расцветай под солнцем Грузия, милый край, любимая земля. Всюду я пою о родине красе, и друзья.
Bravo. Bravo. Thank you. All our speakers are happy. I think you have a lot of things to tell us more, and we will have a lot of opportunities to hear a lot. And I hope we'll have a time for answering the questions. And I see a young girl here. She's like about 12 or 13 years old. This is Ira Shired. She's yoga therapist, music therapist with her own technology of fusion of yoga and music. And this is her daughter, and she's working with her with special needs children, and she has to go to sleep. So let's give the first words to them, to Irina with her daughter. Irina, please just tell us shortly, where are you from and which is your activity? And if you have something to share with us, to ask questions to our speakers, you are welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting us to this special evening. We enjoy so much. We speak English, but maybe sometime I'll ask you to translate. I'm Irina Shirel, and I'm Shelly Shirel, and we're from Israel, from Tel Aviv. And I worked for 25 years. I'm a musician and yoga therapist, and this is a special system of no blast. She's very, very common in France, in Canada, and America. Her system is very special because I use a vibration of gongs and some very unique instruments for abnormal children to teach them to connect to their inner states. And I believe that every child can feel the heart and to connect with their hearts to the universe and to get some power for everything. This is my belief. So I have 3 children, and only Shelly, she's like a gift for me because she's so interested for all my work. And from 7 years old, she started to help me. And every child, she saw like a normal child. She doesn't understand what's wrong with him. And it's very special for me because I just grateful for the universe that I have so
I think you worked very much, then you were pregnant. So she just got it from me.
When I was pregnant, I played piano and sung a special system of no blast. Very interesting system for children that can't speak without words. Boom, pam, boom, pam, pa, 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 pa. And it was the end of my pregnancy with Shelly. Maybe
And what is in your hands, Sherry? What is it?
It's a hand drum. For me, it's like spaceship. I really like it. It's really have many different
What is it made from? It's a musical instrument?
It's from
Schweiz.
Yeah.
And here's the hole that you can.
So we have 2 minutes. Like, do we have 2 minutes to hear how do you play it? Okay, just 2 minutes, okay?
Okay.
Cool, thank you very much. Tony, Trent, you need such a girl in your orchestra.
I really like to help my mother. I really like to help my mother because when I saw the children, for me they're special. So I always see that they have talent. One that play an instrument, for example, piano, really good. One is drawing, really good, and have many talents. For me, special kids. It's like have many different of talents, and I really love to help my mother because I'm Eastern. What kind of talent they have.
It's beautiful. So Irina, do you have any question for our speakers, or maybe your beautiful daughter has any questions?
It was very interesting to see this orchestra because it's exactly what I believe in. Many talented people, and it's a big inspiration for all people in the world. So I would like to continue to follow this orchestra or to be in touch with people.
Yeah. And you can do it on Discord. You can do it.
So, it's so nice. And thank you for the very interesting speak of Anna. Lena,
yeah.
Yeah, it was inspiration too. And maybe I can leave my gift for all people that come here. This is a special book that we have on internet. Shelley draw all this book.
Pictures?
Shelley's book, yes. And this is musical book. So it's 7 chakras in yoga. That's illustration of Shelley and my music. And I'll just send to chat my gift to just listen this for this, because maybe it will help to sleep better for some kids or some adults. It's for better sleep.
Thank you. Cool. I hope we will. Can you please send the link for this information here in chat and in Discord so we can have it, okay?
Yes, and maybe I can send you a link for Shelley's YouTube because she plays lots of drums.
You can share everything there.
Yes, because in Zoom it's not so good sound.
Okay, yeah, you can do it on Discord, yeah. So the link for Discord is in this chat, so you can find it. And I see 2 very interesting questions from Charlie. He was asking, Charlie, are you here? No, he is not, but he was asking about, do you work with poor communities, Tony?
Yes, so Heart of LA, I would say, is located in such a community, but all of our performances are free. So we perform in venues to make sure that inclusivity and accessibility are and welcome for everyone.
Thank
you. You are amazing.
And we have a question from Olga. Olga, hi, maybe you can ask it by yourself. I will not read it, okay?
I have 2 questions. My question I write the chat. It's for Tony and for Yelena. 3 of you the biggest discoveries in your practice.
So let's start with Tony and Trent.
Practice of community development.
Yeah.
Well, I can maybe start. You know, I think it's like sports. It's like music. It's probably everywhere. But this it's about the process. You know, I think these processes to get better at something together helps to remind us of what I'm seeing here in the chat today. You know, we have a lot that brings us together. And I think we're reminded of what, you know, we have in common when we pursue a common goal together. And so I'd say that this practice of intergenerational music making is one of those examples. And there are lots of examples like that. And I love the fact that there's so many countries represented here, just like in our resources. And it's when we pursue some sort of common something that is special, we can come together and we can find our commonalities. That's beautiful.
I think my biggest takeaway from this and other work that we have done intergenerationally is just how much our older adults still have to offer to the community. We have a tendency to want to warehouse those people. We want to put them in facilities and to tell them that they're finished, that their lives are over, and thank you for your service, but now stay out of the way. And we have seen so many older adults, 70, 80, 90 years old, who have so much to offer to their community, to the young people. And by doing it, not only do they give a lot to the younger generation and to the community, but it keeps them vital. It keeps them healthier. We've seen studies where, you know, their blood pressure has gone down, their cholesterol has gone down, their weight has gone down.
Diabetes,
as a byproduct of being active, of volunteering, as participating in these types of intergenerational activities. So as the world ages and we have more and more older people, I think we have a moral decision to make, is whether we're going to take those people and separate them from the population and tell them to stay out of the way, or whether we're going to put them to work helping the younger generation, because I think they have so much to offer. And I see that in Tony's orchestra. I see it every day. They're making music, but they're also mentoring, tutoring, and making young people feel valued. And it's a wonderful thing to see. So I hope we find ways to treasure older folks and to look at them as resources to be harnessed.
There is a very important thing you just told about, and because I think that this social media and internet addiction that young people have now makes them disconnected with the reality. Mostly it disconnects elder generation with the young generation, which is very, very risky for our future, because the experience the elder people give to the young people, and this new breath young people give to elder people, it is one of the main basic links of generation changing, development of the humanity, culture of the humanity. And this social media doesn't give any real training, real tutoring, real mentoring. It's just an addiction, and they see not their own lives, but they see only the pictures of somebody's lives. And it is not a reality. And what are you telling is really a very great and important job for all the generations that are coming next after us and it's very important for senior people, because I think their potential is opening after 70 because they're not working. They have a lot of free time. So all the stuff they didn't have time to realize, because they have growing their children, they have working a lot, all that stuff. Now they have this time for tutoring, for mentoring, as you told. So it's very important. Thank you for that.
Anna, I'm sorry, Tony Trent, tell me, you talked about building a relation and maybe a little life hack. How are you building a relation? How are you planning this? Building a relation, planning connectedness.
How are we doing
he makes it in the orchestra?
Yes. This very...
Bond? A bond?
Yes.
You mean a bond? Самосвязь, да? Yeah, a bond. How do you make this bond?
How are you planning the bond?
Yeah.
So I think, there's a couple different ways, but I think for a lot of folks, it's literally just sitting side by side with someone from a different generation, and both sides modeling their understanding of, how they're supposed to interact with the conductor, right, and with the other instrumentation in the orchestra, and translating, those experiences with one another. That I think there's a bond that's happening just by that alone. Then there are certain games and icebreakers that we do so that we can delve deeper into knowing one another. And then I think finally you're seeing a lot of young people asking the older members how to make sense of what's happening around the world. And a lot of our young people are troubled, obviously, by everything that they're seeing across their social media and other areas. And they're really looking to the adults to say, what is happening up here? How do I, you know, and I think that sharing has been really powerful. So much so, and I shared a story, when these young people say, I have a recital at my school or I'm graduating, these members, you can tell a bond has formed because these elder members are showing up at graduations. They're showing up at these recitals. You know, they're creating this sense of family, and it's beautiful. You know, it's not entirely intentional, but it happens because I think as human beings, this is what we are built and wired to do. We just haven't been in a situation enough or often enough to be able to do it.
I would argue that it actually is intentional in this particular case, and that music is the perfect intergenerational program because they have a duty to get in sync with each other. They have to play the same note at the same time. They have to listen to each other. They have to know when to come in and when to come out. With other intergenerational programs, it's hard to replicate that because if you just put an older person and a younger person next to each other and they don't have anything to do together, the magic doesn't happen. But if you
so
ask
music
them,
is this bond. You think that
it is the bond. The bond is the music because they have to play together. They have to listen to each other. They have to identify where you get louder, where you get quieter, and they have to work together to create something bigger than themselves. So I think when Tony says it's not intentional, it is intentional because they have to play the same song. They can't just be going off on parallel paths, and he's giving short shrift to the intentionality because Maestro Suk is very demanding of them, believe me, that they get on the exact same page at the exact same time to create literally harmony together. So I really recommend music when you're trying to find ways to bring the generations together, as we've seen from Elena's beautiful presentation as well.
Yeah, it's truth. We have a very special participant today, and he's a good friend of mine. I'm not going to keep it a secret. It's Camille Chalai from Paris. He is a universal musician who was playing in orchestra and who was playing classic violin and then rock guitar in rock band and violin in classical orchestra. And now he is for many, many years working with children mostly with autism and cerebral palsy and different special needs in his own very special way, which I cannot the concept, how does he do it? But I know that it is based on a freedom of music, sound, and any kinds of instruments. And children are free to experiment with this stuff as long as they want. And Camille is not training them, he's just accompanying them in this process. Am I right, Camille? Am I right or not? Yeah, and he is the older generation who is always connected with these young people. I mean, maybe do you have something to tell or to ask, to share with us today? Можно по-русски, я переведу, если что.
Can you hear me or not?
Now, yes. Now, yes. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much. I was too much impressed by your demonstrations, especially first one from Los Angeles is too young orchestra, and then I congratulate you the efforts from Belarus and this from blind people. It's too directly going directly to my heart, and then I know maybe it's Irene her daughter. We met both in Jerusalem because we start to work with Center of Jerusalem with my friend who developed the method to try to maybe to some best way for health of autistic and cerebral palsy children. So I moved from Russia 40 years, almost 40 years. I'm actually in Paris. I miss maybe practice in English, so I apologize for my English not too much.
No, it's okay. Anyway, I can translate if you want.
Yes, no, I have nothing to tell actually. You know, I don't know. I take a different way because we built in Russia in 1980 the free academy, and I follow this way. We try to connect our meaning for the antiquity and the nature of sound from the original aboriginal sense of sound. So then I collect almost 300 instruments. In the next month, I move all my collection to Yerevan, and we will build some museum. My concept is touch museum, so we will work with children, with my wife. She's choreographer. And so maybe we can follow our meeting and make it more.
Yeah, I think we will be happy if you send some links to us to see, because like all these 300 instruments are free for children, so they can touch them, they can use them, they can try to do anything and choose what they like. And it's amazing stuff, and I'm really happy it's going to be in Armenia in 2 months, and I hope it will stay for long. So, and I hope that all the things I'm hearing today, like about orchestra and about the core, it will be your countries, guys, and you will create maybe something, be inspired after today's discussion to create it in your country or in your city, because I think people who are talking about this, they are showing it is possible. It is possible. So it's very great. If somebody has any questions, please just let us know, represent yourself and ask. А вот есть вопросы? Алло, слышите меня? Okay, so
to organize this conference, this meeting, it is absolutely incredible and huge effort from you.
Yeah, thank you to really thank you to the Association of the World Community Development for this conference and for this session. It's very important. I'm not gonna represent everybody for this moment, but if somebody will want to speak or to represent himself, just let me know, okay? Just turn on your sound and speak. And I have a few questions to Yelena and Tony, and Trent also, and we have like about 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Can I ask them, guys? Yeah, okay. So the first thing I'm just interested to understand, when these young people come first and see the older people in your orchestra, what do you think? How like, what do they feel? What is the barrier between them that they overcome through this music? So what happens at first?
Well, I think there's nervousness at first.
Nervousness? Mm-hmm.
can I play? They're looking upward. Can I play to the level of folks? And so I know there's a lot of nervousness at first. But then when they start playing together and realize, wait a minute, they make mistakes too.
Yeah, these older people.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I can't believe, they just asked me that question and they didn't know the answer and I know the answer. I think they really start to develop that confidence, like they belong to. And I think it happens that way for our youngest members.
It's cool. So this understanding that they are equal and it doesn't matter how old are they or what the social status they have, like in the music, they all make mistakes or they can be better in this way. This make them like to overcome all this stuff.
Yes.
It's cool.
And honestly, some of our young musicians are better than this person speaking to you.
Yeah. Лена, наверное, то же самое у вас происходит, да? Вот, скажем, человек незрячий видит, что ошибается и зрячий, да, if so if singing not right, like properly, though he is not a special need person, and that, и это делает их равноправными, да, и снимает эти барьеры.
Конечно, а самое главное, что и зрячие действительно тоже видят, на что способны люди с инвалидностью. И на самом деле, вот я проводила опрос такой, и когда приходят вот заниматься люди впервые, у них одно видение человека вот с особенностями, но когда они позанимаются уже в нашем коллективе и побудут какое-то время, у них совершенно меняется восприятие этого человека на позитивное. Они видят его достоинства, они видят, на что он способен, и это очень важно.
And Lena says about that the same thing is there that helps people with special needs to see that not special need people, they also make these mistakes. And what she says is also very important, that it's like simple, normal, we say normal people, they see the talents of these special people and they change their understanding of the world. And I think this is the great like opportunity and advantage of music to make this kind of equality between people.
Да, и я еще хочу добавить, что в нашем коллективе незрячие люди учатся, как попросить о помощи себе. Они тоже раньше не умели этого делать, они требовали, а сейчас они учатся попросить, а другие дети с радостью им помогают и тоже чувствуют себя нужными и важными, потому что ни для кого другого они не могут быть такими важными, как для этого человека.
Also, the very important thing Lena says, that people with special needs, they learn to ask for help, ask for support, and people who can help them, they feel they are needed, they deeply needed. And this feeling that they can do something for another person who really needs this help makes them like confident too. So this is some kind of bonded development between this kind of people. I think that intergeneration, inclusion, any kind of different fusion, like in music, you know, like, for example, we take African music, we take jazz, kind of jazz, or we take classic music and mix it with jazz music, and it always makes something new and something wonderful, and it's a like new stream, the music life, and people are getting crazy about this kind of music. The same things happens between people, like when they make this fusion together, and music is really, Brent was absolutely right. Music is that kind of bond that make people get better with each other and to know each other better. So I'm very sorry for that. We're up now, we have to finish our session. I'm pretty sure you will find a link at Discord. You can enter and speak. And Oля, can you please tell me which days are for experience exchange, starting from today, or there are some special days for experience? Специальные дни для experience exchange?
Yes, Anna, after days of conference, 6 and 7 October, 2 days.
Okay.
It will be practice exchange for practice from all the world, which can include join to our Discord chat, and it will be videos, it will be different activities with children, with
so the kind of activities will be shown when people enter. Yeah. Okay, so till 5th, still conferences going on, and 6th and 7th of October are the days of experience exchange, so you can enter and you can get connected closer to each other and ask any questions and discuss. And I hope I will be also there to see you one more time.
Joining to Discord, you can right now. Join to Discord, you can right now in this link, yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much for everybody. So this session is closing now. It was recorded, so you can see it on YouTube, right?
Only in record. Only
record?
Not
in how
YouTube.
many days? Like in 2 days or in 1 day?
Yes, we will write it.
Okay, so you will let it know.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you very much to everybody, to Inclusive Practices from Georgia, who were tributed with Elena's wonderful chore, who sing the song Tbilisi. We support all people who are struggling in the war zone today, all over the world. And we hope that peace will be on the world, because people who love music and who are passionate in music, they are always for peace, and they create this peace. So we are praying for you, everybody. Thank you to Association of Community Development. Thank you to everybody who have been here today. It is not the end, it is the beginning of our meetings and collaborations. So see you soon, and let's keep in touch. Thank you, bye.